Alright, I'm back with yet another unboxing. I am not joined by anybody this time. So without further ado, let's get into unboxing this one. It's actually a pretty interesting one. So yeah, of course if you read the title and saw the thumbnail, then you know what this is. As you can see the box already. Alright, so here it is. This is the first alert, model SA76RC. This is actually kind of like the last first alert I need for their basic lineup. Basic as in their normal cover design units. The only one I need is the 76R, and the rest of the units are just more obscure, like their SA120s, SA80FCs, stuff like that. But yeah, here's the front. The side, there's their SA120. That's actually my most wanted first alert unit at the moment. I've wanted one for a long time, so hopefully that'll be the next one I get. And the bottom of it was ripped apart. And then something that was nice is they included a new battery, so I got another battery that I can use for this and all my other unboxings of 9-volt units. But anyhow, let's open this. I don't know why they opened it from the bottom like this. They did. Yep. And this is actually a really late one because of the size of the box. These usually came in holders just like the RS's. So this one's actually quite a rare variant. Here's the manual, which shows a tiered button one, just like the 79R manual. And here's anchors and screws, and then here's the unit itself. So, the thing that makes this one rare is not only, well, how late it is, but the cover. If you look very closely, you can see it has texturing. These normally had just smooth covers, but the very late ones actually had texturing. The ones that were transitional between these and the SA76RDs. So, yeah. Here's the back. First alert, SA76RC. Issue number 16,793. It doesn't seem like that much. And then yeah. Let's see what the inside looks like. Yep, it has the rare green PCB. Exactly the same as my 79R, which is kind of what I was thinking. Although this one is from 1985, so this one I don't think is as late. Actually, wait, no, this one's later. Yeah, this is very late. They had already started making their 83R units, based units, or like BRK had already been making 83R units in 85. And I assume there was also First Alerts, SA76RDs and 6070s being made. So, let's go over, well actually I'll put the BRK79R next to it, the unit it's based off of. There it is. Yep. Bases are exactly the same. And here's the PCB. It's kind of hard to see, but this is green. It's an identical PCB, except this one's a little later, of course. It's actually a very late one. Alright, so let's go over their history. So, First Alert, or I guess you could say Smoke Alert at the time, started off with their First Alert, where is it? Their First Alert SA76RS, in the 70s, I believe 75 is when they would have started, around the time they would have started making these. And then they had also their 76R, Smoke Alert 76Rs, which was a 12.6 volt counterpart based off of the BRK 76R. And then in the late 70s, at the same time they were making these, they came out with the RC. But something that was interesting about those is some of those actually had 8 slots on the cover. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like the SA120s, except it didn't have an escape light. And Nathaniel Enland on YouTube actually recently got one of those a few days ago. So I'll probably link that, or at least you can check that one out. That's kind of weird. So they had these before that with the rust-colored horn and the tiered button, and then they had the 8 slots, which seemed to have used the beige horn, and I assume some had the rust horn. And then they had the more in-between models, which the most common one, which had the red PCB and had the smooth cover. And then there was this one, which is actually, like I already stated, a little bit of a more rarer variance, which was the late green PCB with textured cover. And then after these, they had their SA76RDs, which was their last unit to use the RD at the end of the model. Actually, I mean the SA76, Sorry. And they at the same time, they also had these, their SA67Ds. And they also had a SA67, which was based off of the BRK83P, which had a white button, very similar to this. Actually, this is a 79P based unit. It had this button, but it had the First Alert cover, which I can demonstrate. And this is what those would look like. And then they also had their SA80FCs. I forgot to mention that they had their SA80FCs, their SA120s, and their SA78RFs and 77RFs and stuff like that. And the SA120s, I believe, were made for a little bit longer after these were discontinued, just due to the boxes for these having advertisements for the SA120. But anyhow, then after these, they came out with their most popular model. This, the second gen first SA67D or 83R. There are some 83R labeled ones. And this was basically their last unit to use the classic first alert design before they switched to their 67B design and their SA303 designs. So, yeah. So anyhow, that's basically all I have to say. I guess now I'll just, give it a test. So yeah, I'll be back when I get the battery in it. Alright, I got a battery in it, so let's give it a test. Yep, there's your classic BRK 79R coding. The strange 4.6 of sorts, I guess. And something interesting to note, the 8-slot variant, at least Nathaniel's, does a slightly faster BRK coding, which is interesting. So yeah. Oh, and there's also an LED that does go on whenever you test it, but I don't really want to test it again because it is very loud. So anyhow, I guess now it's time to check out the manual. So, here it is. Here's some models there. SA67, which is the white button. SA76RC, which is the one shown here in the video. SA80FC is the one, well, I actually don't, I forgot to get the unit out. And the SA81, so I'll pop up pictures of the SA80FC and SA81. So yeah. So I guess we'll go through the manual. Oh, that's something I never knew. They don't suggest putting them next to fluorescent light fixtures due to the noise. And I see them next to fluorescent light fixtures quite a lot, so I suppose people don't read the manuals. Oh, of course, pause if you want to read any of this. Of course, I drop it. And this side I don't think is... Okay, no, this is English. There's the rust horn and the tiered button. Oh, and they also had sensitivity adjustments. Which, once again, I forgot to get my BRK 1200 out, which has a sensitivity adjustment. Here's what it is. Yep. So there it was. So that was my unboxing and review of the First Alert SA76RE or RC. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.